I hear about like hot gamer moms in my area all the time.
Within like 10 miles?
For real, yeah.
That want to bang?
Yeah. They're always specifically in my area code. It's really weird.
MILF gamer moms in Iowa.
Have you made arrangements for this?
Welcome, beautiful people, to 8-Bit Opinions, a podcast where we talk about gaming news, gaming, and then just general shenanigans.
And pizza.
I'm Fozman and pizza. Papa Murphy, shout out. I am Fozman, joined here by the boys, aka B-Mel, Nosferatu Cam. I hear her. She's grabbing it right now, grabbing the pizza, and Zidane. Bless moms. Yo, shout out to moms real quick. I want to start about the podcast. Shout out to moms. Unless you have a shitty one that you hate, then I guess not shout out to moms, but shout out to moms.
They do a lot.
For real. Yeah, they do. They do their best, man.
My mom is cool as fuck.
Yeah. Moms are fucking legit. Too bad they're not gamers though. That's the only thing that makes them that docks them points.
Dude, what are you talking about? I hear about like hot gamer moms in my area all the time.
Within like 10 miles?
For real, yeah.
That want to bang?
Yeah. They're always specifically in my area code. It's really weird.
MILF gamer moms in Iowa? Hell yeah. Wow, what a start.
That's how we do it.
So, how you guys doing? What's up?
I'm fantastic.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I was just
Doing
playing
all right.
I was playing some Left 4 Dead 2 before we started this. Per usual.
Cam and I were playing some
It's
Fall
so
Guys
funny
right
that you
before
brought
this,
that
too.
up.
Left 4 Dead 2 has become like my space engineers to stand.
Let's go.
It's been fun. I've been playing with Dave a little bit too, and
It's intense.
yeah, dude, that game we played last night, I was almost yelling, like getting excited. It's panicky, stressful. Like Stan was saying, Fall Guys is stressful too.
It can be.
We've been playing that, and I actually won like the one of two games I played tonight. But I had like the most badass jump where I jump and dove too far for that game, and I won. Whew. Felt good.
I did want to say something real quick, Cameron, that I just forgot. So we're going to be talking tonight about a couple different topics. When we do, I wanted to say that anyone please leave a comment about like what we talk about. We love to hear from you. I saw a couple comments on the last video and I love it. So anything that we talk about, maybe something that we missed or something that you want to add, we definitely love to hear from you guys about the things that we talk about, and then just the podcast in general. So definitely, like I said, let us know. But anyway, so Fall Guys, Left 4 Dead. What else have you guys been playing?
Dark Souls 3.
wait. You know what I just finished before, and we haven't talked about this on the podcast yet.
Uh-oh.
I finished Dark Souls 2, Zidane.
I'm sorry.
And I came to a very specific conclusion. And that conclusion is that Dark Souls 2 is not bad, but it's got like...
It's not good either.
It's not... Well, okay, so like... I think that the design... And I've said this from the beginning. I think the design they were going for was just off from 1 and 3. With like ADP and massive amount of mobs and also like shit hitboxes, which might come down to like the fact that it was kind of like a different team working on the game. So shit hitboxes, iframes is in a stat, shit like that just fucks the game up, man, and makes it a little too unbearable. So I definitely agree with you, Zidane, but and then the graphics I didn't really, just like the environments I didn't really like. People say the environments are really cool, but I only found like 3 that I really liked.
I didn't really. No. 1 is definitely the best for environment.
But you haven't played through 3 yet. Then I really want to know your opinion.
So far, I actually have one huge complaint with 3 Zeta, and I want to know what you think of this.
I'm all ears.
3, I feel like the first thing is I feel like I have fought the same enemies pretty much the whole time, and I'm all the way to like the Cathedral of the Deep, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, where's like the diversity in enemies? Like in the other, even Dark Souls 2, like there's a fuck ton of different enemies. I really like that about the game. In 3, I've literally fought like the same undead fucking people like this entire time. It's kind of boring. And then also what Cameron said is that the environments I love 3, by the way, Zeddy. This is just a little thing a problem I have with it, is that also like the environments it's beautiful, but it's dark. It's just dark. And I don't mind dark, but it's just consistently dark and nothing else.
A very bland color palette.
Yeah, a beautiful color palette, but a bland one. Yeah.
I get it. I agree.
It looks great though.
What was that, Kim?
I said Dark Souls 3 looks great though.
It does look great. Obviously, it's the latest in all the Dark Souls, so it's supposed to look the best, but it doesn't play the best, in my opinion.
I call it like the New Vegas of the Dark Souls series. It's unique. It's different. It's weird.
We're talking about 3, right?
Oh, I'm talking about 2 now. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that I'm sorry. I didn't know that we went back. Yeah, that's kind of why I was confused.
I'm dumb. Yeah, 2 is unique. 3 definitely feels more like 1, and it looks great. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've just been trying to play a different build than normal. I want to go one-handed sword and shield. So
that's different from normal.
I normally dual wield in 3 and 2. I really like dual wielding in those later games. 1, I love strength builds, or I'll just do magic throughout all of them, like an enchanted 2-handed weapon, or I don't know, spells. And I'm using heavier armor than normal too. Well, that's the plan.
Interesting.
High poise, boys.
Hitting the gym, high poise. Nothing can stop me.
What have you been playing, Stan?
So just more Space Engineers and Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds.
So my weekly update for Space Engineers is more progress on my latest base, which is getting pretty crazy. I was looking at it today and I noticed my frames were dropping. So looking at the base I was building, I was getting like an average 60. If I just like turned around and got that out of frame, my frames jumped back up to like the normal 120. So like I'm kind of starting to hit the performance level, or like the performance cap of the game. So I have to shut my ships off when I'm not using them and shit. And my latest invention, I went on the workshop and found this mod where you can get like a replica of the Mac cannons from like the Cairo station from Halo 2. You know, like the giant Mac gun on top of the space stations that fight off the Covenant fleet. I got one of those and I put it on a giant turret. And so I have this gigantic like Mac gun turret right next to my base that I can get in and like move it around and shoot stuff. And I spent like pretty much all week just showing anybody who would watch like a live stream of me just obliterating my ships and then reloading the world and doing it again. That's been keeping me busy. That was pretty fun. Of course, I naturally put 2 of those guns on all of my ships as well, but the smaller versions. So
naturally,
now I fly those around and blow stuff up too. So I want to go do some more contracts with that.
I still think you should make a Death Star.
I'll have to make a new world file pretty soon.
No.
I'll have to. I can copy my ships.
Upgrade the computer.
I don't know. I don't think it's a hardware limit. I think it's like a game engine limit.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because there's just, I mean, I was looking at my grid. I built like 64 of each kind of machine on this base. That's the actual number. So there's like 64 refineries, 64 assemblers, 64 oxygen tanks, 64 oxygen generators, and they're all pulling from inventories all over the place. Like I can see why it would start to lag.
Yeah, that's an engine limit.
Yeah.
What I haven't talked to you about it recently, Stan. What world are you at in Outer Worlds?
I'm still on Monarch looking around. I'm working on Radio Free Monarch. Spoiler alert, I
Whoa.
have to. No, I haven't said anything yet. That's just the name of the quest.
But now you're gonna say something. I want to hear it.
Well, okay, you don't want to hear it?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Just be vague. Be vague.
Basically, I'm just at like the second part of the quest. I have to go to 2 different places also on Monarch, fight my way there and convince people to do stuff, and for them to do what I need them to do, I have to go do like a side quest for them, basically. As vague as
what's your opinion on the game overall?
I still really like it. I think I was really struggling to pick it up in the beginning. It was really hard to get going. I wasn't paying enough attention to what I was using for weapons. I was just struggling.
You're playing on hard, right?
I am, yeah. So, but after I kicked off, like after I got a companion, I started getting some loot. I started like getting my sneak skills so I could pick locks and grab stuff and steal weapons, and started upgrading my weapon skills. Like I've started progressing a lot faster. You know, now I've got 3 people on my crew. Our bud Brandon, who's been playing it only like the past couple weeks or something. He already has like 4 or 5 or something crazy. He does like every possible quest he can find, I think. I guess I'm just not as good at looking for quests as he is, but I'm having a fun time running all over the place, and the combat is definitely scaling. So I don't know what I did, but now I've started to unlock like Mark II variants of weapons, which do like upwards of 2 times the DPS. It's really cool. So there's like the standard issue assault rifle was like 190 to 200 damage per second, and like the Mark II variant was like 650.
Mark
One
II
of
it
the
is.
things,
Yeah.
for real. One of the things that I really enjoyed about Outer Worlds was how you can. I like the mods and stuff that you could do to your guns. So you can make guns like automatic. You can make them single shot. You could even change like the ammo type for like plasma, laser. You know, normal light ammo. Like
Yeah.
I liked how you had a lot of options and stuff like that. Put scopes on there, the whole thing. So yeah, that was fun.
There is a pretty good little upgrade system in there. Like you find the mods out in the wild, or you can purchase them from vendors and then put them on there. I feel like I'm always finding the same ones though. I'm always finding
Dude, that's what I was gonna say.
I'm always finding the power mag that turns your weapon. It changes the projectile type to energy, which I mean is cool, but
You want something else?
I don't put a lot into that. I just like heavy ammo, because sometimes I feel like, especially on Monarch, some of the mobs there are resistant to plasma, I think. Like the Manta Queens or whatever.
I kind of wish there were legendary mods.
That'd be interesting.
That would be sick. Because there's
So the
legendary
ones I know
guns
of-
or weapons, but not
Are there?
not mods. They're not called. They're called like scientific or experimental, something like that, types of weapons. But yeah, there are some. Kind of like in the Fallout games, there were like special guns. Although in Fallout 3, you crafted those. So like the Death Claw Gauntlet 3 and the railgun. I fucking always loved the railgun.
Deathclaw Dauntless is so cool though. Like you literally just had a Deathclaw hand in your hand, and those things were huge.
Whap, whap,
Dude,
whap.
I literally like, so I had this one run of Fallout 3 where I was like a drug using psycho, and every time there was a Deathclaw, I had my Deathclaw gauntlet and I would just do a bunch of drugs, and I wouldn't stim or anything. I would just do all the drugs I could. And then I would go into third person mode and and then I would fight the Deathclaw, and we would just swipe at each other till someone dies. Like I wouldn't heal or anything. It's just like whoever wins wins.
The rocket launcher. That was an awesome crafting weapon, I think.
That's
You
the
had to
way,
craft that one, right?
yeah, you just put whatever you wanted into it, right?
Yeah, and you could shoot junk.
Yep.
Fallout games are so cool.
The railgun was sick though because it was like single shot and it just like you literally shot railroad spikes at people, and
Yeah.
so like in slow motion you just like a railroad spike would just go through some raider's head, dude.
Well, yeah, then it could pin their head to the wall.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
fucking awesome.
Exactly, it would pin people.
Damn
So
it!
cool.
I need to play
That's
through
so
3
cool.
again. I've only gone back and played 3 like maybe one time. I've played New Vegas
It's
a lot more.
so good.
But I gotta beat Sekiro first.
I've only played one run through Fallout 3.
You ever played New Vegas?
No.
That's something. That's something that needs to happen.
All right, I'm gonna beat Sekiro. You're gonna be Outer Worlds, and then you're gonna start New Vegas, and I'll start 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
Deal.
that's not gonna happen because you're not gonna
Gotcha.
beat Sekiro.
I'll beat Sekiro next week.
No, you
He'll
won't.
figure
Shut
it
up.
out.
But I want to beat Dark Souls 3.
Too many games on the list to play.
I know, but I'm gonna go beat Sekiro. Brandon's been bitching at me about it too. So
I feel that way too. You know, I don't know why I forgot to mention this. I've also been playing a little bit of Resident Evil on my PS4. So every night
Which
before
one?
bed, probably like an
Two?
hour before bed. No,
I think
the
Zero.
first one. Not Zero.
Didn't you say Zero remastered, Stan? I'm trying to remember which one you said you bought.
It
What
was
is
like
the
a
gameplay
remastered
like?
edition that had 2 of them, and I'm pretty sure it's just the first one remastered.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's what I say. I'm about ready to go get it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is though. I've been playing that a little bit on and off. That game's been pretty rough.
Old school Resident Evils were hard.
Yeah. I've had some incidents with saving and kind of figuring out the mechanics of shooting. It's a pain in the ass. I'm at this one part where I'm struggling to kill these dogs that keep attacking me in this hallway. Like they move too fast. I just can't aim at them in that weird third person view fast enough.
The tank view, the tank controls.
Yeah.
You do kind of like spam or like scan, just kind of like.
And they're like, I need to shoot up. I need to shoot down.
Still a fun
So
game.
I think
though.
it was. Let's just remind me of something. You guys remember? I think it was Resident Evil. The original Resident Evil 2 had that freaky, or might have been 1, had that freaky like zombie face on like when you started the game. Do you know which one that is, Zaydeen? Is that 1?
Yeah, it's the first one. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So
'Cause, like,
that's is the
Yeah.
so this a remaster.
the first thing
one.
is like you like hear a sound and they're like, "Hey, go investigate," and like you walk down a hallway and that what you're describing is what you see. Like the first thing you see in the game.
an image, right?
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
it's like a cinematic view, like an image of the head, and then like the head turns to look at you and it's all gory. Like it's been eating the corpse. Yeah.
Any other games before we get started? Anything you just want to say?
I was
The
worried
floor
there.
is yours.
I was worried there for a second because I thought we lost audio because everyone just went
Yeah.
quiet. I was like, what just happened?
Well, I thought I heard Foz starting to say something, so I went quiet, and then I was like, did he say something or did he just look away?
One of those classic awkward moments, boys.
We're full of them.
That's what we're here for, guys.
I mean, we're gamers, so. All right, so we're good.
I'm good.
Good. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is funny that Zaydin kind of brought it up. I swear you guys bring up so like shit, and we don't like. Just full disclosure, like we don't talk about most of the topics that we go into, right? Or people like not everyone knows, right?
Hardly
So, like,
ever. It's better that way.
It's- Exactly. Like, we think it is, and I agree with you guys. I think it's the best way to do it. But it's funny because most of the time, I swear, in our little ramblings in the beginning, you guys kind of like you almost get there just naturally or something, I guess. But I wanted to try something. This might be super scuffed. I don't know yet. We're gonna try it, find out. It probably won't even take too long. I don't know. But I wanted to do an 8-bit opinion review on a game. So a game that we've all played before, I want us to talk about it. I want us to go over it, and I want us to, review it and give. And we're gonna get final. We're gonna give final verdicts as well to the game. So just quick sidebar in our Discord, guys. Let's try to find other games. Maybe after this, we'll find other games that we have all played. So, because obviously everyone has to have played the game for us to interact with this little bit. So, I'm gonna set a couple like quick rules.
Okay.
We're gonna rate the games at the end, right? Like a normal review. We go 1 through 8. 8-bit opinions.
But
is 8 is superb. 1 is trash, basically unplayable. 4 is actually an average game. Okay, so you might think that 4 is bad, but in our rating, 4 is actually average. 3 is below average. You get it.
So you don't want to be IGN where every game's like a 7.
Like 7.5. Hey, that's the other thing. That's the other thing I was gonna say. No 0.5s, boys. Stick to your guns. Give me a
0.5s.
Give me a solid number.
No,
Don't
I
give me
agree with
some-
that. No 0.5s.
Don't
Because
give me
then if
some
we're doing
7.3.
0.5s, then we're really counting 1 to 20. Let's be honest with ourselves.
True.
1 to 16.
16. I was going to say 16, Stan.
Maths.
Sorry.
Well,
You're right. That was stupid.
I'm okay with just decimals of like I could do a 0.2 in there, boys.
No,
No, Cam, you've been
I will not
vetoed.
accept it. I will not accept it. So yeah, 1 through 8 is our rating system. Again, 1 is lowest, 8 is highest, 4 is average. No decimals, and that is basically it. Other than that, I'm gonna bring up some topics about the game, and we're just gonna kind of go over them. So the game that we're gonna review today is Left 4 Dead series. Okay. That's why it was funny that you brought it up.
Yes.
First thing I'm going to talk about is performance, run and how it runs and everything, and just general like stuff like that. So, go ahead.
I think it runs extremely well. It uses the Source engine, I believe. And I mean, yeah, I guess I've never really had any big problems with it. I mean, they're older games, obviously. I mean, at least a decade, I guess, at this point in time.
Yep.
And I'm trying to remember what it was like when I first played it on a computer that wasn't like high spec. Because
I think you could.
My first computer had a 256 meg graphics card in it. It was not. It ran it just fine. I don't remember. I don't remember getting mad at it or anything like that. And I was playing Versus all the way back then, so I think it runs really well.
Source engine is pretty solid. Stan, Cameron, anything to add to that?
I mean, I was gonna say I think it runs great too, and that's especially impressive considering that it was a title on the Xbox 360 as well, where it ran pretty well. I remember a lot of couch co-op Left 4 Dead on the 360, and that was a ton of fun. And that's really cool that, I mean, it ran great on pretty much both. I've never played it on a computer and had a bad experience.
Yeah.
Even years later, even modded to death, which is another exciting thing. It's impressive that an engine that old and a game that old can handle so much custom content from the workshop. Like, to still be as stable and well performing as it is with all that crap thrown on top of it.
Teletubbies and Squidward and Snorlax and all kinds of crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing to add real quick. Go ahead, Sam.
Well, I was going to say, even the custom scenarios that you can come up with, like the community scenario mods.
Yeah.
Like, we played Resident Evil and Left 4 Dead. I played Left 4 Dead 2 Resident Evil remake before I actually played Resident Evil.
Remember that?
Stuff?
And
yeah, it was hard.
Yeah. All the puzzles were there. It worked really well. I mean, some of the puzzles were a little glitchy, but I mean, it ran. It was playable together. with all those mods, all that crazy stuff going on.
So one thing I wanted to add to what you're saying, Stan, is that so like Skyrim is kind of known as having like a huge modding community and stuff, and that's part of the reason so many people like the game. Well, it's actually the same exact thing for Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. It has such a huge modding community, so that's definitely something we need to take into account when we're reviewing the game. Is
For
just
sure.
how much extra content there is in there. So, and then you also brought up like couch co-op. So like, I would say one of Left 4 Dead's strongest points, obviously, is its multiplayer and its versus, both against AI and against actual players. It's just a fun game to play with your friends and other people online. So, what do you guys think of the?
Whoa, I didn't get to talk about performance here, boys.
Oh, go ahead, Cameron.
Cam
I really
needs,
like
go ahead, Cam.
Cam needs what? I really like.
Go ahead, Cameron.
I know. I just really think it's impressive how much AI they had in that game for how old it is. Like, there's a lot of shit. Like, yeah, going on with mods. That's something else I was gonna say. Like, all these AI that are running at me, they're all Teletubbies. Like, you rendered. I mean, how many zombies do you think are in a horde?
I don't know.
I'd say 10, like
Well,
probably 50.
I was gonna guess.
Okay, I was
50.
gonna
is a
say
high number.
I was gonna say like 60. So yeah,
that was my question. You think over or under 100?
I don't know.
Under.
Sometimes if you boom everybody, it can be.
It gets a lot.
It can get up there. I'd say it
And
could
then-
get close to 100 for sure.
Yeah, so you have that many. So let's say 75 normal,
Sure.
because someone's gonna get boomed. Blah blah blah. And then you have the smart AI for like the special infected. So what, there's like 2 of those at a time. Well, isn't
Yeah.
that game one of those games that like if you're doing good, they're gonna give you a harder time? Like there's AI like that as well, like controlling the game.
I cannot answer that question.
I'm pretty sure that was like one of the selling points on those games. Was it like it would know how well you're doing and change things around it, like the Resident Evil games will do on you. Did you know that, Foz, on the Resident Evil 2?
The remake.
Yeah, I think on a lot of them, like 4 and newer. No, not 4. But yeah, definitely Resident Evil 2. Like, if you're doing good, and you're gonna get less back. So like, if you're killing everybody,
I like that.
yeah, it's like changing difficulty. But I'm deciding someone should look that up about Left 4 Dead. But that's something that I think is really impressive. Just tons of AI, different types of AI. Like, yeah, the regular zombies are just dumb, but you have other types, and then you have the overarching like AI controlling the game.
Well, Cameron, think about like playing like, let's just use like the normal 360, because obviously we have pretty good computers, but think about like the normal 360. Think about 75 AI, 4 special AI, all the whole environment, and then maybe someone throws like, a Molotov. There's guns going off.
Oh,
So
you-
like
More
the
people can
fact
throw
that
it
it's so
explosive.
stable. Yeah, so the fact that it's so stable with that, you're right. Like that's actually super fucking impressive, dude. That almost makes me give it another point when I think about it like that.
For
to be
sure.
honest with you. That's
It-
insane.
And then think about, we could do all that in the demo they released for probably like 2.7 gigs or something at the time that I downloaded onto my X. It's probably less than that. I'd love to know what the Left 4 Dead demo size wise is on the 360. So they could do all that with their engine in like 2 levels with like no space on your computer at all. And now games are like, here, you can play Call of Duty and they're
700
Battle
gigs.
Royale for 250 gigs. Go ahead. It's just silly. What is taking up all this room now?
I really don't understand what could possibly require
Shaders.
that much disk space.
Shaders.
Shaders. Every time
Dude.
I start a Rainbow Six Sieges, I'm installing shaders, man.
I don't know where that came from, but that is such an annoying trend in game management. Like, if you think I need it, just put it in the installer. Come
Good
on.
job, Nintendo.
Like, make it optional.
Their games fits on cartridges.
Yeah.
So, multiplayer? Zaydeen, you start.
With multiplayer, where
Yeah,
to
no,
where to
we're good with
begin? Well, pretty much the whole thing's multiplayer if you think about it. I mean, you can do the single player campaign, but that's boring as fuck. No one wants to do that. So you got campaign, and there's like 7 or 8 different modes. Like games don't even have that now.
Mhm.
I mean, there's campaign, there's versus, there's realism versus, scavenge, mutations. I don't even know what scavenge and mutations are, to be honest. 'Cause I've
What's
never-
realism?
It's like you survivors take a lot more damage.
Is there less zombies?
I don't know. I don't
So that'd be
remember.
kind of interesting.
So one of the main things I always notice from realism, Cameron, is like in Left 4 Dead, you don't realize it in the normal mode, but you shoot the fuck out of your teammates.
Oh yeah.
And in realism, you definitely notice you're shooting the fuck out of them because they go down quick.
I remember an achievement on the 360 was to beat a campaign on expert without shooting a teammate.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I know there was one.
There was
an
no
achievement without
damage.
shooting. Yeah, for no damage to teammates for a whole campaign. I think it was on expert. I think there was that extra little added difficult part.
Yep.
And being kids, that was silly to do.
This game was like so far ahead of its time, really. Like for your versus thing, like to me it almost feels in a way kind of like a competitive like Overwatch type thing going on, because they're like,
True.
because there's certain stuff that you have to do at certain times or you're gonna get your shit pushed in. And it's just, I don't know, to think that was happening way back then. Like they thought of that. It's really cool. I love the game. I can't say a bad thing about it.
So Zaidane, I can't think of a game other than Overwatch, and I think this is kind of what you were getting at. I cannot think of a game or an Overwatch that requires more teamwork. And the thing is, like, it doesn't just require teamwork on like the human side; it also requires it heavily on the zombie side.
For
Like
sure.
both have to work heavily together to succeed. And if one team is not working together, they're going to get fucking rolled,
Yes.
like hard.
Yes. Quickly.
Yep.
We've seen it firsthand.
We've been rolled in some Left 4 Dead versus.
It's okay. It was your guys' first match, and no one knew what the hell was going on but me.
I'm so excited to play this weekend now too. Ooh,
So
it just takes so dang long.
the couch co-op potential of Left 4 Dead 2 was awesome. I mean, the cool thing for me was you just got so much multiplayer content in that little bundle. It was crazy because, I mean, how many like different campaigns were there in the base game?
4.
Like 4, and each of those had like 4 or 5 like chapters, 5 chapters. I mean,
It's a
that's
lot of content.
That was like more than enough to keep 2 kids busy for a weekend. That's perfect. That was the crazy part. It's like, you know, you could sit down and be like, oh man, we're gonna sit on the couch and go crazy, and we're just gonna marathon run this game all the way through and like try to beat it on hard or something crazy. Or you could just like play through a chapter with friends really quick. I mean, there's so much there. I hear nobody wants to play any chapter other than No Mercy now, though.
It's so fun. It's the best one.
It really is the best
Yeah.
one. There are some other good ones like Dead Center, Parish is good, Dead Air is good. But like I don't have a lot of those other maps memorized like I have No Mercy and Dead Center and Parish.
Yeah.
That's why I always play them, because I have them. And it's harder to find games, sadly, you know, in the lesser known campaigns. Like if I go look right now, there will probably be like 10 or 12 games going of No Mercy, where there's only like 1 or 2 and like maybe 5 of Dead Center going.
Right.
So this is kind of a weird comparison, but I kind of see it this way of like, it's almost like World of Warcraft in the way that most of the player base has been playing it for so long that they're almost kind of min-maxing it. Like they've got the level memorized, they know what to do. You you play it really well, especially on versus. You're like, all right, Hunter, jump that guy. As soon as we get someone down, Spitter, spin on him in the doorway. If we can get him stuck in the spit, someone try to charge him. Like all those like tactics and maneuvers and all those like level specific strategies. It's the community's kind of just worked into like the best optimal strategy all around. It's just like Overwatch or even kind of World of Warcraft. It's like there's like a way to beat each boss. There's a way to counter any attack in Overwatch. There's a play for pretty much anything in Left 4 Dead 2.
There is.
So what about like the level design?
So can I talk about multiplayer?
Yeah.
we always forget about you, Cam. Sorry.
Jeez. So I brought up the demo earlier. I remember because this would have been prime Xbox 360 days, scavenging for demos to come out. And I remember that we found that one, and we spent hours on the first, because the demo was just the first 2 missions or whatever chapters of No Mercy. So like we had played it so much, we found like, oh yeah, you can jump across the alleyway and land on the air conditioner and just sit there and shoot zombies from there.
Yep.
And then, I mean, you could just we just found all these silly things. We killed the witch. You go sit and see how long you could lock yourself like in a closet, like as hordes and hordes ran at you. I mean, there was just, you made your own fun. It's like they talk about Sea of Thieves being bad because it's like a game where you have to make your own fun. It's like, well, shit, I entertained myself with 2 tiny ass levels in comparison to that game, hours on end with just some friends. And then that's not even to mention when the game came out, how much we did that, but just on a bunch of different levels. Like we didn't really play. I remember playing Versus a little bit, but not much like Zidane does and like we do now. But it's timeless. It's always one of those games where it's like, and it's cheap too. Is another good reason for that. Is like, oh shit, we got nothing to play. Really, we're in a slum of nothing. We've not played together in a while. We're just like, let's go play through No Mercy, or let's just go play through like some random modded stuff, and then we just start laughing our asses off because everybody's game is different than somebody else's, and everyone's just sharing like, oh, I've got Diddy Kong riding on my head, pull me away, like Scorpion yells, get over here, whatever a smoker gets me, like it's timeless. Like Zidane said, it's over 10 years old. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this is going to be one of those games for a long ass time that you'll never uninstall from your.
And it still looks good.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And I don't think they'll ever have to do a remaster of it because like they went for like a style or some more simple stuff because there could have been better graphics for that game, but no one ever complained about the graphics because what you're looking at, you knew what it was. Like it's just simple and good. Like back to performance. It runs well. It just goes like hell yeah.
Cameron, what do you think about so like we said, it is the Source engine, so like CS:GO and whatnot. What do you think of the shooting in the game? I fucking love it. I like the melee, how fast you are, and the shooting. So when Left 4 Dead 2 came out and they added the melee weapons, I wasn't like as big a fan of that. I think most people are because it makes it easier. But I kind of liked like melee shooting and having like just like a pistol secondary more so.
Whenever I was younger playing that, if it was a cool melee weapon, like sometimes you get a katana, I'd be like, oh hell yeah, I want to use a sword and cut zombies down. So that's what mattered. Or an axe was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've kind of still that way because like I'm sure the police baton one hits them too, right, Zidane?
A melee one hits melee one hits anything.
But I don't want to carry a police baton over dual-wielded pistols or a big mag or it's not as cool. But
so, what do you guys think of like the shooting and the combat then?
I really like the how you have to stop and crouch to shoot accurately, so you can go for those headshots really quick.
I love that.
I need to remap that to something easier than I think it's left alt. Shift is like walk, like to slow down. But
I thought it was left control.
Mine's left shift. I don't know when I changed that, but
I think mine's left control. Mine's default, but that's what I want. Mine is left shift. I mean, that makes a lot more sense because there's no sprint. So easy button to hit. crouch down, get some cool headshots. And then I like the variety of guns. Like, basically, you're either gonna pick the automatic, so it's submachine gun up to assault rifles, or you're gonna pick the different variety of shotguns, or the sniper rifle if you come across one. Like, there's only, I'd say, 3 categories with maybe some special weapons thrown in there, like the minigun and grenade launcher. But I think all of the weapons feel pretty good to use as well, because you're just shooting mobs and mobs of zombies down. It's just fun.
Mow them down, baby.
Nothing's not fun to use, so I think the gunplay is good. It's simple, but good.
I would agree. 100%.
It'd be very different if you could aim down sights. That would change the game a lot, I imagine.
It would not.
Pace.
I don't think that'd
Yeah,
be good.
That would be
it wouldn't.
bad. That would
It'd
be
be
bad.
way too fast paced to aim down sights. You're not gonna be trying to take that
I
accurate
mean,
shots.
you can with a sniper rifle.
True.
But I don't do that. Sniper rifle is always like little dot on your screen as soon as you.
All right, so like Blood Harvest at the end, if you go up on the farm and you have a hunting rifle, that's kind of fun. Like when you're waiting for the truck at the end of Blood Harvest,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and you're like headshotting zombies, that's kind of fun. But other than that, I don't think I've ever like I'm never on No Mercy like using the hunting rifle in a hallway, like aiming down the scope.
But it's powerful. One shot. I mean, nothing beats the AK. Zidane taught me the way.
True.
AK is the way, man.
So what about the environments? And I mean, you guys said that the graphics are good. So what do you think of like the level design, and also the environment, like aesthetically, the environments?
I think they're. I mean, I've said nothing but good things about this game, but
I feel like they're all kind of the same. I'll kind of shit on it for a second, I guess. Not really,
go
but
ahead,
like
shit on it.
it's all kind of this. It's all kind of the same to me. Well, actually, that's part of why I liked Left 4 Dead 2 more, is because I kind of like that they had like a level in the daytime and stuff like that. Whereas in Left 4 Dead 1, it's all just like it's all dark and it's this building, it's that building. I'm in a farmhouse or I'm in the city, but it all kind of looks the same to me, I guess.
Okay, I would agree with that. It does look the same, but like on the second map of, I'm just gonna use No Mercy because it's the most well-known campaign. When you're in the subway, you start off in the subway and then you end up like above ground. Like you're all over the place. You're going down, you go deeper into the subway, then back up, and then you're
You go
fighting
subway to sewers.
to the sewers, and then you're fighting through a factory, and you're all over the place. It's just the diversity that it takes you through to get to the safe room at the end is really cool and very creative.
I agree with that. I really like their level design, because then there's only so much you can do. Like, what more creative are you going to get? You're supposed to make it almost a little realistic. It's like a movie too. So that's why they go through so many different settings. Or like on Blood Harvest, you walk through a cornfield and you can't see shit. Like,
Yeah.
I really like that. Like, I don't know any other game where you're literally stuck walking through a cornfield like that.
Outlast 2.
No
played
thanks.
That sounds spooky.
Yeah,
Don't
no
wanna do
thanks.
that.
No thanks.
Yeah.
It is pretty scary.
So Zidane kind of touched on it a little bit too. I thought there was a lot of diversity in the different environments too. I liked it a lot. So I remember specifically a lot of different like little environments from Left 4 Dead. Like I remember going like under a highway overpass, underneath a bridge, running around down there, kind of going into like a small city, looting like a convenience store and running through a park, running like up and across a bridge to get to the helicopter.
Which level is that, Zidane? I know the one he's describing is
Up
where
and
it ends
across
on
the bridge to get to the helicopter. That's the
I
last
think it's
level
where
of
it
the
It's the
parish.
last one.
Last
Yeah, I
level
think
of
it's
the
where it
parish.
ends on the boat.
And the parish was really cool because that's like that's like a waterfront town. You take a boat there, but like on the way you go through like the middle of a city,
It's like
well,
Louisiana.
a hospital to like a city. You go through like an industrial environment. I don't remember all the rest of them, but I mean, there were 5 and they were all pretty different.
So
They
I
were
think
all really unique.
I think I misspoke, guys. When I meant that, like, when you're going through a level, you go through a lot of different environments. I 100% agree. It was just like it was nighttime in all of them, and I guess it kind of, I don't know how to fully describe this, to be honest with you, but the best way I can say it is that it, like I said, like it looks the same in all the levels.
I know what you're saying. I follow that. It does.
So
Maybe
maybe-
aesthetically, I guess, is what I'm saying, because you definitely go through a bunch of different environments, and the level design is really good, like from sewer to factory to hospital, blah blah blah. But it's just like, that's kind of why I like Left 4 Dead 2, because they had like the daylight one, which I thought was really cool, and stuff like that, to where it looked different, whereas it just kind of looks the same, even though it's a waterfront, hospital, farmhouse, right? Totally different things. It just looks the same to me.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. All the levels in my mind after No Mercy do kind of just blend together. Like, I can remember the settings. The only reason I knew Blood Harvest because nothing else deals with corn. I will
Right.
bet. But I get where you're coming from. It is kind of just, but it's older. You know, they're limited. This is where we come back to. We were praising the AI and stuff and how well that goes, or the engine, and now
And the level design is good.
level design's good. It does all look pretty similar. I bet they reused a lot of assets.
I bet so.
Probably.
100%.
But they had to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was just a small knock, I guess. Like for me, not for everybody. But that brings me to my next point, which is like the story of the game. What do you guys think about that?
There's a story?
You really don't get a lot of story.
exactly.
You really don't get a whole lot of story besides, and go back to No Mercy again because everyone knows it. For whatever reason, you're on top of this like apartment building, and a helicopter flies by and is like, "Hey, if you're alive, get the Mercy Hospital. We'll get you out of here." And you're like, "I guess there's a zombie infestation. We need to leave."
Hold on. What? So the beginning of No Mercy, I thought in the dialogue they said, "Oh shit, the helicopter took off without us" or something. Like, I thought that was the designated rendezvous point that they were supposed to meet the helicopter at, but they missed it, and then the helicopter. Or am I thinking of the wrong one?
That's Dead Center.
Oh no, you're right. You are right. So
Yeah,
Is
in
the actor-
in Dead Center, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna meet him here because there's flares on the ground for the helicopters and stuff." And it starts, and like when it pans in at the beginning, you see like like 4, 5, 6 helicopters flying away. You're like, well, they're like, "Fuck, I guess we missed it."
I want to say something real quick, Zedane. So I think that Left 4 Dead does a really good job of creating a story with its environment. Because what you just said, it explains the story to you, and I think there's dialogue with it as well. I don't remember that level as well. Okay, but there's also flares on the ground, right? So they're literally telling the story through like the environment a little bit, which is kind of the best you could do with that game. And so I actually credit them for that. Like, we're gonna put flares here, make it look like this was the rendezvous. Now they have to go somewhere else. So
no, I had those levels totally mixed up, but it's there maybe a little bit to the point. I think there's a lot of story building in just like the passing dialogue between the characters too. I think I'm only remembering stuff from Dead Center for some reason, but I remember like the interaction in like the elevator or something where they start introducing themselves to each other.
Because that's the first time in Left 4 Dead. I'm pretty sure that's the first campaign, so that's them meeting themselves for the first time before they
they
fight.
go in chronological order, right, Zidane?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Dead
Okay.
Center. So yeah, like I didn't mean to cut you off, but you were gonna say that they like introduce themselves. It's like, "I'm Coach." Like, "I'm Nick." That's all you need to know. Nick's a badass.
Nick's my favorite in the second one.
I like the little like tidbits of like story building, like he's talking about. like when you're in safe rooms, because you know like other people have been in those safe rooms and there's writing on the wall. Like,
yep.
maybe not story. I'm sure there is some story in some of them, but like just to see the silly stuff that they put up there.
Because that would happen in real life.
Yeah, but aren't
They're
all
also,
of these
like,
supposed to
serious
be
paragraphs.
movies?
Yeah.
Right? They're all based on like as a movie, so that's why I think they're so funny because I could see that being the start of the movie, and No Mercy where it just pans in on people just standing on top of a building like that. All right, we got to go. Like a silly action movie.
It'd be
And
awesome.
I do love the character dialogue between each other. Like that's probably some of the best parts. And you have to have dialogue. So since they don't tell a story or talk or anything like that, of course there's going to be like them talking to each other and their interactions work so well. Or the characters are made really well.
I want to take it back to gameplay for one quick second. Fosman and I were talking about it. He actually brought it up and brought it to my attention. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And this game, obviously, like we've said before, came out a while ago, and it was well before the pinging system in any game that exists now, be it Apex, any battle royale. There's a pinging system. Like, hey, this is over here. Look at the
Light
ping.
ammo here.
Look at the ping. Look on your mini map. Well, in this game, all your characters call everything out for you. Like, you look at something, it's like pipe bomb here.
I consider
Pills
I consider it a ping system for sure, because they're
ammo
they're
here,
calling it out.
weapons here. Whatever.
You hear Lewis say something, you look over, that's where the item is, right? Because
Yeah.
that's where he is. So
Yep.
like, yeah.
And like
Highlighted.
they'll even call out special infected if they hear them. Like I hear a smoker around, or at a boomer, or charger near, or something like that.
Chargers got Bill. Like they'll say shit like that.
Even if you're not like looking in the remote direction that it happened. And once again, it was kind of ahead of its time.
100%.
So back to what we were talking about.
No, 100%. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Zidane, because it's another example of the game being ahead of its time, because they do those call outs. The only thing it doesn't do is physically like show a ping on the map. That's the only thing it doesn't do. But like I said, it still works completely, because if you're playing Francis and Francis says pills here, then I know where pills are, right? Because I hear Francis, I look to you, that's where the pills are. So yeah.
But they're highlighted, right? So you can see them
Yeah.
through walls.
No, I mean you have to like look at them and they're highlighted.
That's what I thought.
You have to be
It's
relatively
not going to
close to
show
them.
you on this. It's not going to show you like on the side of the screen until you spin and look at it. But if you look in the direction, it's highlighted, right?
I don't remember. Much as I
Dang,
played,
you're the master.
I don't remember.
I want to say that there is like a limited range to that. You
Yeah.
can do it. It sounds really familiar.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to bring it back to what Cameron said too. Like, one of the design choices I don't like about the game is how they did make it like a movie. Because then once you beat it, that kind of takes me out of this is just a personal thing. If you guys disagree, that would be great. But like, it honestly takes me out of the whole experience when at the end it shows like the credits and everything, and it's like saying it's a movie. I would rather them just say it's a zombie experience. Like why did they want it to be a movie? Like, I'm curious, like the design choice with that.
I think so. It would encompass the whole campaign and make sense. You know what I mean? Like, It's wrapped up, good to go. Like, it's going to take you out of the game and out of the immersion anyway, because you're going to have to go select the next campaign. Like, you beat it, you're good to go.
I feel like it definitely reduces the load on storytelling in the game, because rather than doing something like, for example, like The Last of Us, where it's like one big heavy duty committed campaign, they just set themselves up for like, all right, like here's a cool like premise for a couple of shows, and here are like 5 2-hour experiences we put together for you.
Dude, imagine if at The Last of Us 2 a fucking credit roll popped up That would be awful, man.
Yeah,
That's my point.
And I woke up
I
and it
can
was all
be
a
a
dream.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
So that's, I get, it's different though. It's so different because I don't care as much about the story. Like I've said that, but I do really like story games. It's just if the game's fun for being fun, hell yeah. Like I love Breath of the Wild. Story in Breath of the Wild, pretty not there. I love Dark Souls. Story in Dark Souls, pretty much not there. Like I don't really need the story in the game. And also back to what he said, I couldn't imagine. I'd be so pissed off if we ran through Last of Us and it, it just ran a credit like a movie because you invested so much more time into it. You're only investing like an hour and a half at a time, tops, at playing through a Left 4 Dead campaign, which is like the length of a movie. The end of a movie's got credit rolls, so no, I don't mind that at all. I honestly kind of enjoy it because I love that in the credits it says like in memory of if one of the people died. And
Yep.
And then it gives you all your stats as well. Like it's fun. I know that last time we played, whoever I was playing would try to skip them. I'm like, no, I want to see who got, killed the most infected and all that.
It was probably me.
Why would you want to skip that? And then it makes it like a little competition almost during the game, or
because I know I won.
You wish. Oh, it's such a freaking fun game.
One thing we haven't talked about yet that I was excited to bring up, back on the teamwork subject.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of like perfectly set up teamwork scenarios. Like, I can't remember which level it is. I want to say it's in the first one, maybe after the subway station on the way to the hospital in No Mercy.
Okay.
Where you have to, excuse me. You have to like turn on the generator or something, and there's like a perfectly set up machine gun off to the side, but there's like a gap right behind them, and it has like blind sides on every side. So like if you have 4 people, like you put Cameron on the gun, one of us watches his back from that gap back there, and then we have 2 people on either side just to, bash those few that get close away. That's one of the best parts, trying to coordinate with stuff like that, just like a simple coordination tactic. And it redid that in a really good way, like over and over and over again throughout that whole game, like
Good
multiple times
design.
over. Yeah. That's also a key part of surviving No Mercy is, basically the same situation, but now you're on a roof and you've got it coming from all over.
You pretty much never really need to worry about you. You just want to watch other people, and then you bank on those other people to watch you, and then you'll make it.
It's the crazy amount of teamwork. Like Zidane showed me the setup at the end of like the last part of No Mercy where you're defending on the rooftop. It's like if you're undead, you can get a smoker to pull somebody to hold them there for the charger to run them off the edge, or if you don't have that combo, you can just try to run them off the edge of the charger. But if you're human, you can kind of break that by throwing a Molotov up in the air. But then once you do make it up, like if you're humans, you want like 2 people on this one building, 2 people on the main building, and then you kind of watch each other's ass. And it's just there's plays. There's all kinds of plays in there. Walk out this door, make sure you get right behind the door so you can't get charged because they'll run into that. Just cool little stuff like that. Ooh, I'm learning the ins and outs a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry, Cameron. Did you have something else you want to say?
No, sorry. I was just getting
okay. You're good. You're good. I was just gonna kind of reiterate what you just said, because I think when they made that game, I think when Valve made the game, one of the very first things they decided was teamwork. Working together. And Zidane brought this up at the beginning, and it's one of the biggest aspects of the game, and it's what differentiates you between succeeding and failing. So yeah, it's awesome for both sides. Like I said, the zombies and the humans.
It's even teamwork, and like you have to play teamwork in campaign too, because I looked it up. There is a AI director, so if you leave somebody in the back, that person is likely, since they're left, like you cannot go out alone, especially in multiplayer.
You get shit on quick.
Campaign, you cannot be alone. Like you have to be around people. You're forced into it. If not, you're just screwing everybody out. So anybody, if you separate, which I mean, it's linear, so it's a little more hard to separate. You just get left behind or you go too far forward. But if you do that, you're done for because you're going to get hit by somebody that you need a teammate to get off of you. And so it's forced cooperation.
Is there anything we're missing overall with this game?
Gameplay,
Anything else you
level
guys want to talk
design.
about? Yeah, we talked about gameplay, level design, story,
Performance.
performance. Those are like the main 4. If you, I don't know if you guys can think of anything else. Those are kind of the main ones I had for the game.
Sorry, when we give our rating, are we going to give our explanation on why we gave that number, or should we just cover that now?
So you're going to give that's a good question. You're going to give your rating and then you're going to explain.
Okay, I'll wait.
But, we're going to do like quick synopsis.
It's not a topic.
Yeah, we're just going to do quick synopsis. Synopsi. That's a word. Of
Sure it is.
Of each one of our rating. So,
okay.
Are we good? Are we ready to rate this some bitch?
I think so.
This dang tongue gun. We ready to rate the dang tongue gun?
Okay, let me just say it one more time. I want to every time we do this, I want to like get this through people's heads so that they know, so that when they hear like an 8, they might not be confused. So it's 1 through 8 because our podcast is 8-bit opinions. 8 is the highest. 1 is unplayable trash. 4 is an average game. And then you can kind of figure out the difference between the rest of that. So who wants to go first?
Pressure.
Y'all are nervous.
I'm not nervous. I'll just give it an 8.
Do it.
It's a perfect game. There's a reason none of us ever uninstall it. I mean, it's not perfect, but all things considered, like, it's rock solid. It's built on a great engine. They did a great job putting it together. It's a great deal all around. Like, it's always been a pretty affordable game, right?
Yeah.
Was it ever like a brand new release title, like full $60?
I don't know. I remember I bought it at Walmart back when they.
It's super cheap now, and like
back when they had the CD in the case. It was weird.
Yeah.
You still have that case?
I do.
I want to see that sometime.
Left 4 Dead 2, doesn't that come with all of the first Left 4 Dead as well?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So you get the content from both games, which is like, so a total of 10 of those, like, maybe, what would you say, hour to 2 hour experience?
Yeah.
An hour and a half.
I'd say an hour.
Hour and a half. Like a quick movie. 10 of those. And multiplayer mode. So you can play against other people playing Common Infected. You can play it online with other people playing through the same mission. It's a good game and it's a good all around deal. Why would I give it anything less?
Fair enough.
Well, Stan inspired me because I wanted to give it a 7, but it's like there's got to be games out there that get an 8, and the big thing is that's an 8 because I have it on my hard drive. It's something I never uninstall. Like, we've joked about that in the past. It's a game you never uninstall. It helps that it's very small compared to modern games too, but I have nostalgia memories of it. I have great memories of it. Like, even to this day, it's fun. I can mix it up. It's like BRs are continuously fun because not the same thing's going to happen every game. And in that game, not the same thing's going to happen every time. Like, it's always different. There's a skill gap in it, a huge skill gap in Versus.
Yes.
The modding community is going to keep that game afloat for another 10 years. I hope to be playing that in 10 years of, all right, boys, we got to jump on. Got the kids asleep. Wife's out for the night. We got to play a little Left 4 Dead No Mercy here tonight. I got to get my fixin' for the week. And I can totally see that game still being there. So the biggest thing is it's timeless. Like, it's not going to get old. If the modding community didn't exist, like, I still think it would be a great game too. Like, it would still be one of those games I never uninstall. It's just an added bonus to make the game silly. You could probably make the game scary if you wanted. There's different maps. There's so much. You just keep going and going with that game. If you want to make your own fun, there's another 100 hours of gameplay. Like it's perfect. You're right. It's an 8 then, because if I don't give this game an 8, I don't know what game out there really deserves one or qualifies for one.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Foz. I want to go last.
Okay. So I think that Left 4 Dead is an amazing game. I don't think it's perfect. I do not think that.
I don't think any game's perfect, though.
Yeah, they're
except Dark Souls 1.
There are games
That game is definitely not perfect.
There are games that are pretty damn close, but let's not bring up other games. So I don't think that this game is perfect. I think that it's a really good game. I think that when I was young, I had a bunch of fun with it, a whole bunch of fun with this game, because play on LAN or on couch co-op, like Stan said, with your friends and have a great time with the game. Okay, I kind of covet a lot of what I think of the game to nostalgia, and I also take that in mind. I think all of us take that game with nostalgia as well, so that's also another part of it. What's up?
I want to retort a little bit though, because playing it now, none of that. The nostalgia helps, but I'm playing it now in a whole different aspect as I've been playing with Zidane. Like, it's a whole new game to me trying to learn this versus stuff, because like he said, it's like Overwatch. It's very competitive, and it's it's a totally new spin on the game. So my entertainment I'm getting out of it now is not. It's got no nostalgia.
I still believe, Cameron, you have that respect for the game in your heart, like I do, right? Oh. You still have that respect in the game for the game in your heart, like
it's 100%. Yeah, I even like, but it's still going good, not in a pure nostalgia sense. Because look, I went back and played that Maximo game we talked about last week, and I've been playing that. I've played that out of pure nostalgia. It's not a super fun game I'm into, which it is fun. I'm having fun with it, but it's more of I want to remember it. Like I want to remember what I remember from the game.
I got you. Okay, so so then there's that. I do take that into account. I also feel like the thing I said with like this will probably still sound silly to you guys, but I really don't like the movie credits thing. That always when I was a kid, that took me out of it. I hated that. Because like I'd finish a level and I'd be like, that's weird. That's stupid, man. It should have just been like a normal zombie apocalypse thing. I love the characters. I think that they're interesting. I think they're funny. I think they do their jobs really well. I love the competitive aspect of it that you brought up. I love the innovations. Most of the innovations they made in the second one that just made the game that much better.
That's been something.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of thought of that as we were.
You did say series, though. We're talking about the series. So
true. We are talking about the series. So I wish I would have brought up more stuff about the innovations in number 2, but oh well, we can talk about that some other time. And the combat is really good. The level design is really good, even though aesthetically to me they look the same every time. Even though it's different environments, good level design environments, but it looks the same to me every time. Everything's really fun with the game. I would give it a 6. So that means that it's like, so like if 4 is average and 8 is like perfect, then that would mean 5 is above average. That means 6 is a good game. That means 6 is a good game. And that's what I'm giving it. It's a good game.
What do you give an 8?
Well, I think we should not linger on that too much. Well, just because like that'll take too much time.
It's a masterpiece, is what I consider an 8. I don't consider any game perfect. I consider and what a masterpiece is something that's timeless.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, and like I said, again, we could get into that, and to an extent, I do agree with you, Cameron. But I mean, 6 is a good game, and that's what Left 4 Dead 2 is. You said it yourself. It's super fun. Could play it anytime. It's super affordable. If anyone doesn't have, I'll say this like right off the bat. If anyone
Comment below,
doesn't,
we'll buy it for you with our
yeah,
revenue.
dude, I will buy the game for you. I'll send it to you on Steam. I don't get like, I'm dead serious. If someone comments that, I'll send it to them. So like, everyone should have the fucking game. It's awesome, and it's fun. But I would give it a 6. It's a really good game. Go ahead, Zaidi.
That's fair. So performance is good, level design good, gameplay. I forgot to mention one little thing, and I guess that it only comes into play or effect in like a versus match, but like hit reg and like hitboxes are kind of messed up in it, because there'll be plenty of times where you'll go to jockey somebody or pounce on somebody as a hunter, or even charge through somebody as a charger and nothing happens. So
The net code.
yeah, so that is shit. I guess I shouldn't say complete shit, but it's definitely not what it should be.
I'm really glad you brought that up at the end.
That's something that detracts from the overall experience for me, because that pisses me off a lot. Because, you know, like, I hit somebody, they should be downed. Not a thing.
On my screen.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's what happens.
That's literally what it is. Yep.
It is timeless. I definitely haven't put a.
Concur.
There are many people out there that put a lot more hours in it than I have. I really haven't put that many in it, to be honest. I'm gonna give it.
0.5s.
I know.
Take a second. Think.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Fine.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
All of us.
Wow.
7 is like excellent. I probably should. I guess I should.
So do we round out to a 7?
A little more.
Yeah. On average, we would be a 7. So the 8-Bit Opinions podcast coming to you with a 7 from Left 4 Dead series. Thank you for watching.
No,
Yeah.
let's everyone is individual. We take in those ratings.
No,
We're a team. We have
we're a cumulative
averages.
7.
No.
Yep,
Like
we're
that-
cumulative.
We are all individuals. That's a podcast, baby. We're not one entity.
And like that's really the only thing that takes away from the game for me is that netcode. So
Then how does that takes away so much? It takes it down 2 points.
well, you're right. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that.
That's huge though, Cameron. That's a big deal. Do you know how many times in Apex I've died when I'm behind a wall? And do you know how much that fucking pisses me off when I'm looking at a wall, not the actual guy, and I die? Netcode is huge, man. That needs to be good in a video game.
But you got to take consideration the age and consider that multiplayer. It wouldn't be as good of a game without it, but it doesn't need it. Because the way
I agree with
is
that.
that
I agree with that too, Cameron, because I played the fuck out of it like just normal when I was a kid. So I do agree.
The hell was that?
Cats just knocked something over. I don't even want. I gotta go there.
Those dang cats.
I'm staying at a 6. It's a 6.
6 is good. 7 is excellent. Like very, very, very good. And then 8 is like legendary. Just they did everything to the max. So I mean I would agree with all of your ratings though, to be honest with you.
Me too.
I could easily give it an 8 if I tried hard enough. But I'm very happy with calling it a 6, which is like a really good game. I kind of liked that bit. I'm not gonna lie. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope people watching comment if you liked our review. What could we do better? What could we change? What did you like about it? What sticks? And is there additional? Because we kind of brought up a few at the end of there, like the netcode that we should have brought up like way before. So like what else could we add? to
What's
the
your
review?
number as well?
Comment that below.
And what's your number? What's your rating?
Yeah, what do you give it? 1 through 8.
See this, but another thing is this is one of those games that I think it was Brandon who had never played it, and I was like, "You've never played it? It's like what people do to Stan. You've never seen this?
Oh my
You've
god.
got to play it.
Stan,
You've got to.
Stan, you gotta watch this, man.
You've
my
got to
God,
get lost, dude.
You've
Get out of
gotta
here.
watch it.
You gotta watch it.
have to. Oh my god, you haven't seen
So-
it? You have to.
That's like one of those games I had say that to people. Like I even remember at one point I played this online with my brother. Like this is probably the only game I've ever, and only like one time. I don't know how it ever worked out that happened, but we played online together, and I was like, "What? Like, that's weird." I don't know how I had that memory just come back to me.
It's an easily accessible game to people who, maybe don't even game. So that makes sense. But
We just
Yeah.
need a Left 4 Dead 3.
Valve
Valve doesn't count to 3.
I know
Yeah.
that. I know that, but they need to. Just imagine a Left 4 Dead today. Yes.
What would that look like?
Next gen graphics, baby. It looked great because
With
fucking
Valve,
Valve's
dude.
Valve's making it.
And Valve, like their netcode on like a new game would be really fucking good. I feel like
It'd be
like
I would
Blizzard
expect
levels.
I would expect Half-Life Alyx level quality,
Oof,
Mhm.
high quality. I need to go play that again.
VR Left 4 Dead.
Well, no. See, I feel like if I was a huge Half-Life fan, and then that was what they did with the series, I'd be so pissed. I like VR. I'd be
That was
so pissed
VR.
if they took Left 4 Dead 3 to
It'd be
VR.
pretty cool flying through the air as a hunter, though.
It doesn't have to be a VR exclusive. I mean, it could just support VR.
Just
Be
give me
like
the option
Squadrons.
for Naked Zoe mod in VR.
Anyways, so I actually, what did you guys think about that? I just want your opinions real quick.
I think that we set the bar really high for our first game because I want a more controversial game for that
Okay.
situation because I honestly was surprised that you two didn't give it an 8. Like I was on the fence of saying it a 7, but then I'm sorry I keep hitting back on this. There are very, very few games I would ever consider a masterpiece. Like there's not much out there I'd give an 8, and I'd put Left 4 Dead in my top 10. So I assume that, I would try to be less biased if there were more glaring issues in this game. So, like, obviously, I don't know if I'd give Dark Souls an 8 because I understand it's clunky, it's different, like, not very accessible, not a real story. Like, there's reasons you wouldn't give Dark Souls an 8. But I didn't see a lot of reasons to not give this an 8. So that's why I said, what would I even give an 8? This is one of those.
I feel you, man, and I like respect your opinion. We'll have to, like I said, we're gonna have to collaborate and get some other games we've all played in the Discord so that I can bring this up again at another time. So, are we good?
I'm good.
We're good, dude.
Good.
Cam,
We're
what's
all
your cat doing?
He's tearing shit up.
Yeah, I can't believe that sound that was that loud was just the trash falling over. It's a plastic trash, like just a regular kitchen, but it was plastic. It was very noisy for that. Dang Murphy.
Cat. He's just ripping around.
Damn cat.
Yeah.
He's got the zoomies.
Kitten zoomies, man. They're insane.
All cats are zoomers.
Yeah.
Sitting's a zoomer.
So the next thing I want to talk about is I wanted to bring up like streaming platforms and streaming in general. Okay. So like, yeah, and all of them, like Facebook gaming, YouTube Live. Is it YouTube Live? Is that what that's called?
I don't know what it is, honestly.
Or is
Yeah,
it
I
just
think it
YouTube
is.
gaming?
I don't
okay.
know.
Facebook gaming's real.
Whatever. Oh yeah, it's real, man.
It's a real thing, yes.
I know people who are like stream on Facebook Gaming and are partnered on Facebook with games. So, and the craziest part is there are people who watch them. And then obviously there's Mixer, which is
No more. I don't think it's any longer a thing, is it?
No,
Gonzo.
they dropped it.
Gonzo.
And then the Mac Daddy Twitch, obviously. So I want to get your guys' opinion on that. Before I got some topics about it, but like, I mean, for just the beginning, like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
I first would like to start off with I did not know Facebook gaming was a thing. I thought it was like talked about or was going to be a thing, but I did not know that was already like an active deal. But I guess I'm not surprised because I don't really use Facebook like Marketplace. But then when Mixer was a thing, I never came across Mixer links, so I guess no surprise there. Other streaming platforms, YouTube, I don't ever see anything. I guess occasionally, if I somehow have a notification to somebody I subscribe to, if they go live on YouTube or whatever, I'll get a notification and then I just have to shut that off. But the one I'm most familiar with is Twitch. And Twitch is so dumb. Like, their TOS is terrible.
Yeah.
And the people who moderate it, like, they pick and choose. Like, if you want to be a titty streamer, if you're good enough looking, go ahead. You actually, like,
I mean,
one of their like really famous titty streamers like accidentally showed like a dick because one of their people, you know, let them, like, they clicked a link from a follower or whatever and they didn't know what it was going to be and they're like, oh, and she didn't get banned. But then like a smaller male or something would do the same thing and just get banned for it. Like, they pick and choose, and that's dumb. And then
So, Cameron, real quick on that. So, do you remember? I don't know if you guys even know who this guy is. I've never seen him before. I've never watched this thing, but he's super popular on Twitch. Tyler1. He's like that really big guy.
he plays League of Legends.
He plays League of Legends. He's super popular. He started playing League on Twitch when League, like, you know, was like a really big deal and shit like that. So he had his shirt off once. And he got in trouble for that. And Twitch changed the whole terms of service because he had his shirt off once. But dude, I mean, some of these chicks, like, they are naked, man.
yeah, they have nipple pasties.
Their boobs are
sitting
just
there.
like, yeah.
No. They'll sit there with nipple pasties and then paint over themselves because it's art and it's okay. Like,
It's not fair.
so something I want to talk about with the terms of service is so funny is two things. Cold Ones shout out. You guys know who Cold Ones is. It's do anything for views and Max Mofo. And it's like they do podcasts sometimes and they do like just bits and stuff. So one of the things they did was they just got on Twitch and they would like give a bunch of money away. So then there was like this girl that was like fishing. So they commented, they were like, okay, we'll give you like $1,000 if you jump in the water. And I think she might have gotten to her swimsuit and she's like, wait, is this against terms of service? Like, literally conscious of like breaking them that hard because they're so tight and they just screw people over so quickly with those terms of service because you don't know if you're going to get a perma ban or it's never consistent is what I hear.
No, not at all. And they don't ever tell you exactly what you did if you do in fact get banned.
Yeah, so I wonder if it's just like a lot smaller company that we're thinking or something along the lines of that. You'd think they'd have a shitload of people.
Amazon owns it, dude.
But how many people work for the department of just that? Like, they worry about people leaving. Like, it was a big hit when all these other huge streamers that were on there went to like different platforms. So, like, shout out to Pay Money Wubby. Like, he puts YouTube content out, but he's mainly on Twitch. And like, I've seen parts of it where he goes, like, he'll just break terms of service and he'll just like yell like, kick me, I'm one of your biggest contributors, like, you're not gonna kick me for doing something so simple. Like, he's still very conscious of like not doing things on there, but if he accidentally does it, like, he just straight up goes, do something. Like, it's just so funny. But it's crazy that they're just so back and forth on that kind of shit. Like, I'd be so worried about that if I were a big Twitch streamer. Like, I gotta follow the rules or I'm not gonna make my money.
I think even more so than that, Cameron, is there are people on Twitch who are popular but not like stupid popular, they do okay, right? So imagine if those people got banned for something, right? Or they got DMCA'd, they got striked for something, and they lost all that. That would be really unfortunate for them.
There's actually a
Happens
really,
on YouTube.
there was actually a really big thing not too long ago on Twitch with DMCA. So in the past, what would happen if you were to play music on your stream, you could do it live, but once it went to your archive, your past broadcasts, a bot would pick it up, and that section of your stream would then be muted.
Including the game and the streamer.
Everything's
Yeah.
muted. You can't hear shit. So sometimes, if you listen to music the whole time, your entire stream's gonna be muted, or used to be muted. Now, however, DMCA came in real hard and started hitting people with copyrights. So I'm like 99% sure you can't listen to music at all that's copyrighted on Twitch.
You can't.
Pretty much.
Or you get struck.
No, they'll ban you.
Yep. And
that's a YouTube thing too.
It's gone it's been on YouTube for quite a while, and then now the DMCA is coming at Twitch for it. But like the
I thought the audio cut out.
I did too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just like trying to think.
It was weird. At the end of the
I lost
day,
my train
I
of
just
thought.
want to listen to fucking music.
For real?
I don't understand if, let's say like the 5 people that are watching me want to listen to music too while I'm playing the game. I think it should be okay. I mean, if they really wanted to, they could go to YouTube and play the music. I mean, it's because you're making money listening to music and playing games, and they're not getting their cut. So, I mean, obviously it's always about money, but still, it's bullshit.
Are they gonna take?
I think
out
that's an imaginary cut.
Oh, for sure. Are they gonna take away like Discord bots that play music for you, like in big servers? Because I'm sure a lot of big ass servers, like where people donate money to get the big boosts. What do they
Dude,
do
they're
about
just
their
gonna
bots?
put something right in your ear. So if you ever hear their music when you're not allowed to, it'll just shock you.
No, it'll just make you go deaf. There'll be no,
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
nothing.
It'll just shut your ear off. You'll be like driving down the road and like you'll hear it in the next person's car, but you don't have a license for that radio station, so it just shuts your ears off.
No,
Yeah, that's exactly
does
what I was gonna
noise
say.
canceling does. It just reverses the waves at the same time, so you just can't hear that noise. That's the future.
It'll be like, please insert this amount of money to continue your listening.
Blink twice.
What a dystopian nightmare.
All right. So hey, we hate the terms of service on Twitch. What else? What else do we think about it?
So this
There-
is totally unrelated, but as soon as you mentioned streaming, I just remembered this funny World of Warcraft story. I mean, it's funny now that it was kind of controversial at the time. So like, Cameron, this might have been on our server, but wasn't there a time where there was like a pretty popular streamer playing World of Warcraft and they were raiding and they were trying to get into like Blackwing Lair or something, and they kept getting camped by Alliance, which I mean,
no, they're
it's
getting by a multi-boxer.
yeah, they're getting camped by a multi-boxer.
The streamer was a multi-boxer.
The streamer was a multi-boxer?
This guy streamed, and he was crazy. Like, he was like, you could think of like a meth head or something.
No,
like,
no.
jumping up-
We're going different directions here, bud. That's a funny
yeah.
story too. But I'm thinking about the time. So the raider was streaming on Twitch, and one of the like GMs for the server was watching, and it was in the chat, and he like saw this guy getting camped or whatever, getting griefed on his way to the raid, and the GM like just kicked the guy for no reason, and Blizzard like had to. They eventually, or I think they did it pretty quickly. Like they undid it and reinstated the guy, but the guy just like saw that he was being mean to his streamer friend, logged into the server and kicked him. Like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
That's stupid.
But you
yeah.
should definitely
My
tell
dad
that other
works for
story too.
Microsoft.
So the other story was that this guy would just like he had many accounts, but all multi-box. So he had one extra account that was like a spy on the Alliance side. So he'd just be constantly tracking like where this guild was going to be walking in at and when they would. So he'd just resurrect. And he had so many people that would simultaneously do the same moves. It would kill a whole raid group and you couldn't do anything about it. So, which is crazy. And they finally banned that after 16 years of WoW. Seriously, they did.
I think because quick side note, I think because of Classic WoW, they finally did something about bots. I think that's because of Classic WoW. I don't
specifically not bots. Bots are terrible in WoW, but multi-boxers is what they banned. They've banned bots forever.
But they've done more on both of those since Classic WoW came out. Do you remember when they had that huge bot ban and everything, and then
70K bots?
Yeah, and then like this thing on multi-boxing now. So like, shout out to Classic WoW for finally getting Blizzard to get their shit together after, like Cameron said, 16, 17 years.
Yeah. So that streamer was just wild, jumping up and down in his chair, freaking out, getting excited about like tweaking out, actually getting excited about like when he's going to kill this raid. So the video that was made about that guy was a perspective of the raider trying to get in. So they had alts and everything logged in on a different raid group. So they ran through with him and like they would die or whatever, but then the other raid group like came from a different direction that people don't typically come from, but was still monitored. And he got so excited he thought he killed like the main raid group, because the big deal about getting killed before the raid is you have world buffs, which make the raid a lot easier. You're just a lot more powerful, like 15 to 20% more powerful than normal going through the raid, but you can only get those buffs at certain times and they only last for so long. So if you killed somebody outside, well, they lose those buffs. So it obviously pissed them off a lot. And that guy was just excited because he thought it ruined their whole big raid group. So it ruins the whole night because they're 20% less powerful. So he got all excited, but then they logged in and then he started freaking out because he's like, what? They made it. They made it. And he's just like, oh, going psycho. It's crazy that there are people out there that are that dedicated. Spending, 15 times 15. That's lots of money just to play a game.
For real.
Just to ruin people's time. Like, sadistic.
For real.
So is that the number of mages it takes to wipe a raid group on average? 15 mages, Arcane Blast.
Well, I mean,
and then do you have to level them all at the same time?
But they would just level simultaneously. Take a long ass time.
You just have 5 together, or no, you would have all of them together.
So how do you figure these guys do that? Do they have some kind of software application that helps them manages it?
Yes.
Or do they just like have 5 computers at their desk?
No, so multi-boxing isn't banned if you're switching between two different windows of WoW, because there was a guy that's called dual boxing who does that on our server. He is a priest and a warrior. But I think if you're using the software that controls multiple things, it would do that. But I said 15 because imagine if you casted Frostbolt at an enemy player at the same level as you. If you hit them 15 times, don't you think they should die?
Yeah, that's a solid wipe.
Exactly. So 15 Frost Novas, Arcane Blasts, or 15 Sapper Charges, which do a shitload more damage than those alone. I mean, you're not going to miss. And especially if you set it up that your Sapper Charges were more spread out. Instead of just having a 5-yard range, you could have a 50-yard range. Which is insane. I mean, it's just stupid. Back to you, Foz.
So back to like I guess we'll just say Twitch, because really it is the most popular. But do you think, like, I mean, I guess it is sustainable for like the people at the top, but do you think people like in the middle, like it's sustainable for them to be streamers and stuff? Or maybe people who like only do one game, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then maybe they get sick of that game. So then like, what do they do after that? They could try to transition to a different game, but sometimes that just doesn't work out because people want to see them play that game. Unless you're a noted variety streamer,
I mean, you have to have a following. I think you just need to build a following. I understand what you're coming from. I feel like people come back for the person more so than the game. But I just hear or see stream fails, hear about stream news. Like I don't watch streams myself, so I don't know how true that is.
That is 150% true. They come for the stream. They come for the game, stay for the streamer.
It's a lot of sense.
So, you know, and that's why a lot of times you'll see streamers, you know, they'll shoot the popularity because this one game's super popular and they're good and whatnot. And it's not sustainable if you know, don't have a personality or that's the only thing you play. And, you know, eventually over time you're going to lose viewership and, you know, and then you're going to burn yourself out because let's say I'm playing Apex Legends every day for 8 hours would not be fun. It's a good game. But I don't know.
If you were making money, could you do? All right. So I think if I had a popular stream playing Apex Legends, or people were giving me money, I was making an income. This was sustainable. I think I could find enjoyment in playing the game every day just from that aspect of the fact that I'm actually going to make money and that I can like just sit and play games.
So that is really interesting because you said like just making the minimum like living wage like as a job. Say you could live off $25 an hour. That you should probably be able to. Like if you made $25 an hour playing it for 8 hours a day, like that's a totally different thing. So like particularly Venezuela, their currency is so bad. Like things are so cheap and you know whatever. They can live on like $3-4 a day, like USD. So what they do, a lot of them just farm gold in RuneScape and then sell it back to buyers. And then I mean it's a deep thing. Like I'll find a video if you guys are interested because it gets deep and like they only know Spanish, so they can only sell to Spanish sellers and Spanish sellers undercut them, and then they know English so they can translate and sell it higher to English sellers, and it's just the craziest like community out there. So like a big part of that country is gold farming. So like when Jagex, I think is the name of the company, like makes changes, like there was this huge part where there were like they're not bots, they're literal people playing the game, but they're gold farmers, so they'll get banned. But they were always in this place called like the Revenant Caves, and then they changed how the loot works in Revenant Caves, and like all these Venezuelans were like, well, sorry family, like not gonna be able to feed you as well until we find out a better method here. Like we got to make the golden game. So I saw this like random, like YouTube now has like stories basically, and they're just from random creators you would never see. And it was this like one Venezuelan dude like recording his grandma fighting Zora, like one of the hardest bosses in the game. So it's you got 70-year-old lady playing RuneScape killing bosses. That's a good way to make money, just to sell it to make it like to live. Like that is insane. And I don't know why Venezuelans picked up on this, but that is the country. Like crazy.
That is crazy.
So back
And
to
I was gonna say that just reminds me of all the sketchy like gold for sale on World of Warcraft too. I mean, people make a big deal out of that.
Any MMO has it.
Yeah, World of Warcraft is just another inbox for spam. You'll actually get mail from other players, like in a mailbox. You go get it, and it's like, "Hello, friend. I have good cheap gold for sales.
Would you like to
give
buy
me
my
dollars
cheap
on my
gold?
website.
Join my channel.
333 dot, and then they can't say com.
I actually found something what Cameron was talking about with making USD in RuneScape, like kind of wanted me to look into something. What were you gonna say, Zidane?
I was just gonna bring it back to actual making money on Twitch. So like you were talking about people in the middle, you know, making the living wage. So So you get half of a sub. So a sub's $4.99. You get half of that. Amazon takes the other half, and I think if you're a partner, you might be able to get 60% or 65%.
So if someone subbed you, you get $2.50.
Correct. You only get half of that, and then obviously you get the tips or whatever. So
You get all the tips.
Yeah.
tax wise, you have to take taxes eventually if you make a certain amount.
I did not know that's what subs did.
Correct.
That's
So
awesome.
Did you think there was no income
Sorta.
for subs?
I didn't know how that worked.
now you know.
Oh, okay. That's why they all want you to do it so badly.
So that gives my free sub a month from Amazon so much more value.
You're
But
giving
they're not losing any money, so now it makes sense. This Amazon runs Twitch because they're just giving
so at the end
they're
of the
just
day,
using part of your Prime sub for that.
you have to have like probably several thousand subs if you get no tips, of course, to maintain a livable lifestyle.
Or you have
So-
boobies and you get that one guy who tips heat every month.
You've got Simplord69 in your chat.
I guess, yeah.
giving
Yeah.
you money.
I'll get
hold
right
on.
to work on
Hold
getting
on.
some of them.
So one thing, okay, this is another thing I was gonna say then. So back when I worked at like this, it doesn't matter where I worked. I worked at this place and there was this guy who worked there. He had a really good job within this company. And he made a lot of money with the company, or like a decent amount, especially for like in Idaho. Idaho's not the most expensive place in the world, as you can guess. Kind of like Iowa in that aspect. But he made good money from his job, and he also streamed Destiny. Like every day, every night, he streamed Destiny. And he made a good income from that too, to where this guy was making a lot of money because he was working and streaming. And I thought it was a pretty good idea, man. I mean, did he probably get burnt out from Destiny? Probably, but like at least he was. I think he found ways to like enjoy it, and then like you said, he's making double income, and half of it is playing a fucking video game. So that's not bad at all, man.
I mean, I've grinded many hours in RuneScape.
After
So-
that, but with that, while streaming though, like you have to be on.
Yeah, you
Well,
have to be talking the whole time. Too.
You have to be on. You can't a lot of people after work, they come home, let's say they want to play whatever game they're playing, they veg out.
Right.
They probably just sit there and breathe, honestly.
Sounds
I mean,
just
we
like
stay
me.
here and talk to our friends though. Like almost every night, we get on Discord with each other and just chat.
But a lot of people though will just, sit there, veg out.
Oh yeah.
And while you're streaming, you have to be on. If you're not on, no one's gonna want to sit there and watch you stare at the screen.
What do you mean nobody wants to watch me sit in silence and look at a screen?
I don't think anybody wants to do it,
That's like
Sam.
3/4 of this.
You have to be you would have to be one of the most attractive males in the history of the planet for that to happen.
Or have boobs.
Or if you're really, I think
Well,
also if you're really good at the game, then if you're less talkative, if you're really good at whatever game you're playing, or if you're doing like a really good job at the game, then I think that is the third way.
Yes. But then that goes back to building the community. They're just there to see you play really well and not there for you.
But if you're a damn prodigy, I'm gonna come watch too. True. Damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, the person who is most on task in Twitch is the dancing guy who like will breathe fire and he gets a
Sushi
sub.
Dragon.
Sushi Dragon.
Sushi fucking dragon, baby.
Check that guy out.
Holy fucking trip, man.
Oh my goodness, he's got like 5 different camera angles. He's all
But
wireless.
he's got like 5 different computers running this bullshit
Yeah.
too.
He's got 5 different camera angles, 25 different backgrounds, 50 different audio effects, and he controls it all from like a wireless backpack with handheld
He ha- he
gestures.
has- he
and-
has-
He's got to have a crew, right? He's got to
No,
have
no,
a
it's-
crew.
it's
Dude,
him.
I don't believe that guy's
We're
doing
gonna go watch
that by
Sushi Dragon
himself.
after this. You
He
can see
does-
if he does it in his
Too
garage.
much.
He did it in his basement.
And then the one I really remember, he was in his garage, and he was, because now he painted a whole room into a green screen. Before, he had all this shit hung up, computers just stacked. Like you would watch him walk. Like he had a camera angle of his setup where he would walk back over to his setup to change something, and then he'd walk back over on the other side of the garage, and then it's the craziest thing. The best thing when he's like cutting himself into multiple like different people, and he's like looking at the ceiling while it's happening. Oh my goodness, that is the best Twitch streamer out there in the entire world.
See, one thing that kind of shows is that there's different ways to be successful on Twitch, though.
Oh,
So, like
yes.
that guy is he's a crazy editing, like entertainer type of guy on Twitch. You have girls on Twitch. You have people like Shroud who are just good, right? And Asu, that one guy I showed you, Cameron. You have guys like that. So there are different ways, and then you have variety streamers, guys and girls who are like really chill and just fun to hang out with. And so like people like to come in and hang out with them, like kind of what back to Zidane said about the person, right? So you've got a myriad of different types of ways to like be successful in a bunch of different types of people. And that's probably one of my favorite things about Twitch is how there are so many different types of successful streamers. It's not just one type of gamer. There's like so many different types. on
Just
Twitch.
chatting, just live stream, like in real life streaming. Yeah, I really like that. Like there are so many different things. So I'm gonna go back to Pay Money Wubby. Like I don't watch his Twitch content because I'm not gonna remember a schedule and watch something on a schedule like that, you know. But I watch his highlight stuff. But he does not like. He doesn't play video games. I don't know if the dude even likes video games. So he'll like do grilling streams, like where he just sits there and tries to make some weird food. Media share streams where like back to donations, however many dollars you put in there is how many seconds of a video that you get to play on the stream. And then so this is another thing about Hidden Breaking TOS. Like I'm pretty sure you can't just smoke pot on Twitch. He sits there and rips a vape pen, says he's smoking weed and getting high, doing shots, getting drunk, like while they're doing these like you laugh, you lose compilations, like with his girlfriend, and they're both sitting there in like the silliest green screen suits.
I think it's okay if it's legal in your state. I don't remember.
What about
So I've
alcohol,
also
Zidane?
I've seen him do it a couple times where like
Yeah.
they imply that they're doing it, or they just plainly say that they're doing it, but they just do it off stream or just cut it out.
No,
I've
he
never
just-
seen the ones where they actually like take a vape or anything.
Yeah, he's not lighting a bowl. He's
Yeah.
like hitting.
I feel
one
like
of
there's
the vape
plausible deniability. I mean,
but he
if
says
it-
he's smoking.
it's just
weed.
a
But again, I
vape,
think
you
he's
can
from
say.
California, so
vape.
Yeah.
he says he's getting high. Then he's probably from California. So
Dude, that could mean
you know,
anything.
the other 12 states. Simps, the other issue with Twitch.
Dude,
Yeah, that's silly. That's what I said earlier. You just get one person who pays all your money.
hey, so I want to say something else, Cameron. I meant to say this earlier. So I was looking on Twitch the other day, and Twitch doesn't even care, man. They'll get on their high horse about it, but then there was this chick who is like a porn star who was one of the main recommended things on like Twitch.
Yeah.
She
Sasha-
wasn't doing porn.
It's probably
She was-
it was Sasha Gray
Obviously.
streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, what do you mean? Like, so Tyler One takes his shirt off, and you totally change the terms of service, but you're actually recommending a porn star to just like everybody, just anyone in general. Because the only people I've ever watched on Twitch are like Apex Legends streamers. So like, why am I being? Why are you recommending a porn star to me? Apex Legends streamers and a porn star just chatting. That's not the same thing. So my point is they're like blatantly just putting that out there, and like you said, they are they are allowing it when they want to and disallowing it when they don't want to. They're being very picky.
Yes.
Yeah, it's stupid. That's why I go back to like how much resource do they put into this? I'm sure there's not a whole lot you got to manage.
I feel like it's in shambles, man. I feel like it's almost like they don't know what they're doing over there. Almost like it's an incompetence thing. Do you think?
They don't get it? Yeah, they're boomers who run the company, so they just got all these other boomers in charge. And then they're like, we need to get these young kids in here. So then the young kids they hire are actually these like weird people who really don't get it, or they get on their high horse that they never had. I don't know. It's really strange.
It is.
I mean, isn't that kind of the weird thing? It's like you do have to be a part of a certain subculture to understand what's going on Twitch a little bit.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
So this girl just sits here and just talks for 2 hours.
And
I guess that's fine. That's weird. Probably don't need to look into that at all. This guy plays League of Legends. Let's skip around. Wait, hold on a minute. Sound the alarms. Is that a nipple? Back it out.
A male nipple. Stop.
Like, honestly, I feel like they really they don't understand what's going on. So I think another part of it is, do they do any kind of like automated monitoring of content or anything? So like
sound.
I know they have bots that monitor for sound
and chat. Like you cannot, like obviously you cannot like say the N word in a chat, in any chat, because Zidane, there's like different. I don't know if this was in when you were streaming, but like they're like different. From what I understand, there are different packages of like moderated chat from Twitch. This isn't like your Twitch streamer moderators. This is from Twitch, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's like a basic one, which is like the obvious stuff, like racial slurs and shit like that. And then there are more and more niche automated bots like that, right? So there's something like that in the chat. I know there is.
It's been a while. It's hard for me to remember.
Yeah,
but don't they rely a lot on like personal moderators you appoint?
Like you
yourself?
Yes, you yourself and personal moderators. I mean,
which is silly. Like they can't even handle to do their own shit.
I mean, at that point, it's free speech technically. So
I don't know. I think what they should do. Here's my take on it. I think you should just split it. So if you want PG content, make a place for that. Make a category for it or whatever. Moderate your stuff over there. That's the strict. Like nothing even vaguely sexual at all. That's PG content only. Anything outside of that, that's in the adults only section, and you're just
there's the
you
Wild
moderate
West.
your own stuff.
Yeah,
you're responsible for whatever's there.
I like that. I made a joke about it, but I actually like the idea. I'm serious.
So come over here, but here's the issue. It's like if you go to porn, isn't it just one click? Say I'm 18, or even maybe they don't even do that. So on their idea is, it's one click to agree that this is adult content, because like if you go to someone who's gonna cuss and smoke and do whatever, like you have to click OK. So it's like what's gonna stop a kid from clicking the Wild West portion? Like if you're gonna do that way, why not just have like the full-fledged, here's your girl you can pay to touch herself, do whatever the hell you want her to do. You know what I mean? Like, why would Twitch not invest in like the porn industry then? Like, I'm sure there's plenty of money there.
Right. I don't know. Maybe
they don't want to be associated with that.
But you said sexual, so I don't know why. Then it would be taken to the whole new level. Because like if you're gonna support the, big old cleavage and, oops, I dropped my pin on the ground, I got to show my butt now. Why would you not support just the full thing?
I think if you commit and say you're an affiliate with Pornhub, that's different than having like someone who shows titties on their stream. Like if Twitch is like, hey, we are an affiliate with Pornhub now, that will get talked about more so than some chick just hanging out and doing whatever. That's my take. I'm just kind of spitballing with that, but
I'm dreaming of the Wild West.
You're dreaming of the Wild West.
The Wild West Twitch.
That's what we want.
Showing titties and people saying, "Oh god,"
Doing all kinds of the drugs.
smoking crack, saying the N word on Twitch.
Not
That
cool.
would be,
That's not funny. We do not
yeah, that
support
would be
that.
tough.
They
That
are
would be
Native
tough.
Americans.
That's not cool, man.
That's an inside joke. I yelled at Cameron. Yeah, no, that would obviously not be cool. I was just messing around. Yeah, don't smoke crack and say the N-word. You heard it here first on the 8-Bit Opinions podcast. Don't do either of those things, kids. We're good. We're definitely good. Holy shit. We're good.
I think we're
Let's end it. We're
Thank
good
you
so far.
so much. Thank you so much for watching and participating with the podcast. Like always, we appreciate all the feedback that you can provide. Give us your rating, like we said. Give us your rating on Left 4 Dead 2, Left 4 Dead franchise, and what do you think of Twitch? What did we talk about? What didn't we talk about? Let us know in the comment section below. Love to hear your thoughts on terms of service, the website in let us know in the comment section. So
I
Thank
have
you.
one.
thank you
very
so much.
important Outro
Go
message
ahead, what's
I
up?
have to give everybody.
Do it.
I'm just saying, objectively, if you're not liking, commenting, and subscribing to this video,
Sounds like a threat.
you are hurting the guild. All right, you're really just wasting everybody's time. Honestly, if I find any more of you viewers, signing up for raids,
Get
coming to
'em.
this podcast every week, not liking, commenting, and subscribing, I'm going to start taking away your loot council points.
Get
And
them.
I'm not kidding. All right. That's going to be an actual 50 DKP minus. Not
Actually,
really. I love you.
IRL.
If you're here and you ever like, comment, and subscribe, I appreciate it.